When I think of the state of cartoons in the early 2000s, the first thing which comes to mind are silly old web-based flash games. You had classics like Experiment 625 Sandwich Stacker, Teen Titans Battle Blitz, and Experiment 625 Sandwich Stacker. Game of the Year edition. It was a pretty good game. However, just out of my reach were all the premium MMO games like Toontown Online. I think my mom was afraid of the monthly subscriptions. However, one that piqued my interest just a bit was slightly after my time. FusionFall, an MMO featuring all of the Cartoon Network characters together. FusionFall's anime aesthetic did capture my attention, but less on a, wow, I want to play this level, and more on a, that's neat level. So let's take a look at the game I was vaguely interested in and see if I missed out on anything. But first, this video is sponsored by Verve. Head out to vrv.co/Billiam to try out Verve Premium for 30 days for free. Verve Premium offers a great selection of ad-free content from a wide selection of streaming and content services. Stay tuned until the end of the video to hear about my personal experience with Verve. The link is in the description down below. When FusionFall came out, Cartoon Network was not in a good spot. There weren't a lot of great shows coming out, good shows were canceled, and a change in management led to what many refer to as the couple of years I didn't watch Cartoon Network because it wasn't very good anymore, period. There were live action shows. However, FusionFall ignored all of that junk and created a game which redesigned both recent and classic Cartoon Network characters to be more anime.
It is I, Dexter. Can you hear me in there?
Some transitioned really well, like Dexter. He looks kind of cute, but others like Ed and Eddie look horrible. However, their official art renders look slightly less disgusting. It's mostly the 3D interpretation of the anime redesigns that fall flat.
What a mission!
Alright, so how does FusionFall work? How do characters like Billy from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy meet Samurai Jack from Samurai Jack? Well, all the Cartoon Network characters live on this planet, Earth. That's right, they all take place in the same universe. So next time you're watching the Powerpuff Girls, know that Johnny Bravo is nearby being problematic.
Call me in 15 years when you're a co-ed.
So aliens come and take over, then tens of thousands of years pass and the world is infected with aliens. Luckily, Earth has a hero from the past. You. To save the Earth, you have to go back to the past. Maybe Samurai Jack isn't the best person to help me do this efficiently.
50 years have passed.
To save the world, you have to beat up evil, gooey doppelgangers of the Cartoon Network characters, go on missions, and explore the world, seeing locations and characters from all the classic shows. Look, it's the treehouse from The Kids Next Door. Wow, I watched that. Oh look, it's Mandark from Dexter's Lab. Wow, I watched that. Oh man, it's Ace from the Gorillas. Aside from the anime aesthetic, there's not much about FusionFall which I find unique when compared to other MMOs. Don't get me wrong, the aesthetic of an MMO is really important, and seeing locations and characters from Cartoon Network is a gimmick which has a long-lasting appeal. There's enough ideas and locations derived from all these shows to keep exploring interesting. But like many MMOs, exploring to me is less interesting when you're doing it alone. I mean, that's the nature of doing a review, but I have to be transparent. It may affect my overall opinion. The game begins with you creating your own custom character. This is Triple D, Ed the Boy. Ed the Boy joins the shelf with my other custom characters, Fladgoof from Virtual Magic Kingdom and Owo-chan from Gaia Online. They are my children. Eventually, the game changed format a little bit, but originally you leveled up by beating nano missions, which were unique to every level. You do a certain number of errands, missions, for a certain character, and eventually a nano mission will show up as an option. You enter the lair of a fusion version of a classic Cartoon Network character like Eddie from Ed, Edd and Eddy, Ed from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, or Hogarth. You beat them up a little bit, and then you'll earn a nano version of that character. Nanos are little pet versions of the characters who often appear slightly more like the original design from the show.
Oh my god!
Nanos can be assigned one of 3 powers, which will help you in combat. As you level up, more items and weapons are made available to you to help you be super stylish. Because any real gamer knows that it's all about the aesthetic, not the skills. Items can be bought, sold, and earned in mystery boxes after completing certain missions or beating certain enemies. The overworld is divided into several different sections, all of which have different themes and towns modeled after Cartoon Network locations. However, backtracking is made difficult by a lack of landmarks placed on the map, and there's no compass. I mean, there might be one, but I couldn't figure it out. From what I've played, fast travel isn't an option either, so there's a lot of just walking around. When you die, you respawn in the closest respawn point. I actually discovered a whole new town by doing this, so remember kids, if at first you don't succeed, always give up. Don't actually, I believe in you. Missions often involve platforming, combat, and small puzzle solving, but none of it alone is too interesting. Initially, I was having trouble beating the first boss, but eventually, I learned if I just walk around in a circle, I can dodge all his attacks and win. I love some of these enemies. Gooey guy, tentacle guy, pain saw. It's lovely. Regular enemies don't really give you an opportunity to dodge, and often I don't really understand what part of the animation is the attack, so I just hit it a couple of times, leave, let my health regenerate, and come back. It's a lot of waiting.
All right, time for Billiam's hot takes that are hopefully not going to get him in too much trouble. I look at MMOs as a very relaxed social experience. It's almost the opposite of an arcade game. An arcade game is trying to get you off a cabinet as fast as possible so it can get you to put another quarter in. But an MMO is trying to get you to play indefinitely so you go on to that next payment period.
Creating combat which takes time so your health can regenerate, eliminating fast travel, and other things I'm sure I'm very wrong about, keep you playing so you reach the next monthly fee. I mean, is fighting enemy after enemy after enemy until one of them randomly drops an item on the floor fun? I mean, sometimes. This is just my personal taste. There's nothing wrong with MMOs if the player is aware of the payment system and enjoys the game, but as someone who is reviewing this game and playing it alone, I lose out on a lot of what this game has to offer. Like every review ever written, besides a completely factual summary post on Wikipedia, this review is biased to my own personal taste.
FusionFall is cool, but unless I have people to play it with, I'm only going to enjoy it to a certain extent. Who knows, maybe I'll hop on a live stream one day and play it with all of you guys, but until then,
FusionFall came out in 2008 and received minor updates which added content from newer shows being introduced on Cartoon Network and some standard MMO fare. In late 2011, the game was completely restructured. FusionFall Academy took place after the defeat of the alien invasion and focused on some of the newer characters from Cartoon Network's Renaissance period, like Finn the Human and, Jake the Dog. The game continued to receive sporadic updates until late 2013, when the game was formally shut down indefinitely. There was another FusionFall related game called FusionFall Heroes, where you could actually play as the Cartoon Network characters. However, the franchise of different franchises was ultimately abandoned. That is until a group of fans started both the FusionFall Retro and FusionFall Legacy project. FusionFall Retro is a rebuilt version of FusionFall as if it were still 2008, while FusionFall Legacy is planned to be a continued version of the 2011 update, with added missions, characters, items, and content. These kinds of projects are critical for game preservation and game access, especially in the modern age of gaming. Emulation and ROM dumping is one conversation. You can still technically get a copy of an out-of-print game. It might be expensive and inconvenient, but it's possible. However, the internet and digital age of gaming has brought a whole new conversation surrounding game access and preservation. The conversation changes when we're talking about games like FusionFall, MMOs, apps, browser games, and even games released on services like Xbox Live Arcade. Many of these games exist solely on a server, and once the entity who owns those games stops supporting the server, those games cease to be available. Projects like FusionFall Retro and Legacy are essential for preservation and game access, but often the copyright owner doesn't allow them to exist because they can compete with an existing product. But Time Warner or Cartoon Network have the right to shut it down whenever they want. People who played this game or are just curious about it should be able to access it, whether it's for entertainment, research, fan fiction, I don't know.
I don't know what the right solution to all of this is. Maybe an academic database or a digital museum. I don't know. Somebody smarter, please help me. FusionFall is cool. I enjoyed discovering it for myself finally, but the problems I have with it are the same kinds of problems I have with a lot of similar games. Maybe I'll check it out again and do a live stream once Legacy comes out, but until then I'm going to delete it off of my computer because I desperately need the hard drive space. Special thanks to Verve for sponsoring this video. Go to vrv.co/Billiam to receive 30 days free of Verve Premium. About a month ago, I subscribed to Verve Premium to watch through Digimon Adventure Try, and I've loved it ever since. Verve Premium provides ad-free access to many premium content and streaming channels, including Crunchyroll and Funimation for both dubbed and subbed anime, Rooster Teeth, Cartoon Hangover, Shudder, and Verve is also adding exclusive content to Verve Premium, including the 2011 Thundercats series and a brand new show, Gary and His Demons. If it wasn't for Verve, I would not have been able to create my review for Digimon Adventure Try, and while watching it, I was on vacation and had incredibly spotty internet. But luckily, Verve Premium members can sync content beforehand in order to watch it offline through the iOS and Android app. Verve is also available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Apple TV, and Roku. Since signing up, I've been using Verve Premium like crazy. I'm keeping up with My Hero Academia as it's released, and I got to revisit one of my favorite anime series of all time, Cowboy Bebop. Which, by the way, hot take, Cowboy Bebop is one of the only anime with a superior English dub. I'm also trying to watch more anime that I haven't seen before, so if you have any suggestions, please comment below. Using the link in the description, vrv.co/Billiam, you get 30 days free access to all of the ad-free content of Verve Premium. Since signing up, it has quickly become one of my favorite platforms, so please check it out. That's vrv.co/Billiam. The link is in the description down below. Thank you for watching. If this is your first video of mine, be sure to subscribe and follow me on social media. My Instagram and Twitter link is in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day. I will see you next week.